Hello everyone, it's Sky, your Tuesday commentator, and today I'd sort of like to step back from some of the more recent events in politics and in news, and go back to January when a man named Aaron Swartz committed suicide. Now, for those of you who don't know, Aaron was a computer programmer and a political organizer, internet activist. He worked with Reddit and with Creative Commons, and he, in my opinion, is someone who, really lucked out in the not so great way. So Aaron was sent to trial for going and downloading a bunch of academic papers and articles off the internet and wanting to put them out free on the internet from a academic corporation. And he was sent to trial, and he faced a 35-year prison charge for downloading these files and for going to put them out on the web. And he committed suicide on January 11th, or before the trial against him. And I think there were a lot of really shocking things about this case that a lot of people didn't talk about, that other people talked about a lot. But I just sort of wanted to mark out my thoughts on the case. Personally, I do see how, what he did was wrong, and you can't steal stuff from a company that makes a profit off of these articles and put them free on the web. At the same time, that's not worth 35 years in prison. It's like, it blows my mind how, you could do that. I mean, I get if they did put him in prison for a little bit, or if they fined him, but he wasn't trying to sell them. He wasn't trying to commit treason or something of great offense. I mean, a 35-year prison sentence is more than a rapist gets. It can be more than a murderer gets, or someone who commits manslaughter. And the fact that he got this sentence because of this data theft, it just blows my mind. And the fact, I've read some, discussions of him in his earlier life, and people talk about how he was depressed, and he had some troubles. But at the same time, there are a lot worse people in the world, and they don't face this kind of legal persecution. And in my opinion, what he was trying to do was make information free to the public, which, if you think about it, this man's going to jail for making information free to the public. When you say it like that, it sounds really like, what's the government doing that it stops this? I understand that a company's profit is made off these articles, but that's not worth this guy's life. And the fact, what gets me is, I would understand if he got the sentence if other people who committed more violent crimes, or crimes that affected people on a wider scale, if they got charges that were even worse, it would make sense. But the fact that, a rapist can walk away with a 2-year sentence, a 4-year sentence, a 6-year sentence, and be out, the people who, murder and steal and commit violent crimes can get off on, they'll have high bail, but they can get right out. And it just shocks me that this is the society we live in, where we persecute a man who wants to make information free to the public until we kill himself. And the company he stole the data from ended up dropping the charges in July. But it kills me. And then after Gistor drops the charges, MIT doesn't. And then MIT gets hacked by Anonymous, which is the internet activist group. Now, if you think about that, let's just talk about who Anonymous targets. Okay, one of the big recent things that Anonymous has done is they attacked Westboro Baptist Church. So let's think about Westboro Baptist Church and what they do. They pick at the funerals of people and the weddings, and they say these people are going to hell, and they hound on other people to convert to their religion, or, die or go to hell, because God hates you and you're wrong, you're an abomination. So, this is the kind of group that Anonymous goes after, is these hateful, empowered, power abusers. And then they go after MIT because they're persecuting this man who killed himself at 26 because he was facing 35 years in prison for trying to make data free to the public. I mean, why? J. Swartz figured a way out. They didn't pursue action, and they were attacked for it. But I find it crazy that the criminal justice system is so business centered in a lot of cases. And if you've noticed, there's been a lot of recent cases. I know one where the courts decided what was labeled as a supervisor. They defined supervisor so that they couldn't persecute someone who had been abusing an employee below them. And they decided that since this person wasn't, key in the firing process, they weren't technically a supervisor, and it wasn't supervisor abuse. So there's these rulings that are starting to pop up, and it's been happening for a while with the corporation benefits and stuff like that. They're giving corporations power over people in a way that I personally think is wrong. And this is just one of the cases that this happens, and it's awful. Like, people shouldn't have to kill themselves to escape the justice system for stealing information. And it's one thing if you're a spy or in committing espionage and treason. That's one thing. This guy just wanted to make academic articles free to the public. Does that really seem worth it to you? Because it doesn't to me. And I'm running out of time, but we'll see you in the next. Bye bye.